is my ongoing goal to be able to support you as the very best way that I can. And in order to do that, I really need to get to know you a little bit better, what your personal needs are for supporting you as a parent on this journey of children with autism, and with your child, what their needs are and what you would like to help them most with. Because there may be many things, but there's usually a few top pieces that are very, very important to you that you know your child is really struggling with and you would like help with. And so in order to find out how I can support you best, I have created a short quiz. It's at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/quiz. And if you take that short quiz, you'll be able to give me some information and I'll get back to you with some results and how I can direct you to the resources that I feel would help you best right now for where you are on this journey and for what you need for your particular specific child's needs. So I hope it's helpful. Again, go to naturallyrecoveringautism.com/quiz. Summer's here, and as we start traveling more and more, we're looking for some on-the-go healthy snack tips. And that's what I have for you today, because it's really important to know what we can feed our kids on the road. There are so many junky fast food restaurants, and I'll go through some of the things you want to avoid today. But again, we want to be able to enjoy our trips and feed our children, whether they're at school and need a good healthy snack, or they're on the road, or they're going to summer camp, or whatever you're doing and you're traveling, then it can be really helpful to have a few of these tips. So I thought I'd share them with you today. The reality of traveling with children with special needs can bring up some of the other challenges. And then food to eat on the go is even more important to navigate, because we want to make sure we're not giving our kids, the bad fats, gluten and casein, the proteins in dairy and wheat. You've probably heard me talk about that a lot. And I've got multiple other podcasts on gluten in the brain and how these create such inflammation in the body, and sugars that if our kids eat these, we see heightened behavioral issues. And it's really important as we're repairing their gut and helping their brain to function better, that we're feeding them these healthy foods. And so these on the go healthier snack tips are something that I think are really important. So things to remember are, when you're eating out traveling, you want to avoid monosodium glutamate. You probably know MSG. A lot of fast food restaurants use them. You'll find them even in deli meats. So you got to make sure that wherever you purchase your deli meats, that they do not add MSG into that product. Aspartame is another one. It's your artificial sweetener, and it actually, like MSG, excites the neurons in the brain cells actually to death. It kills them. And you often will see headaches, but heightened behavior. MSG is also known for creating a lot of anger issues. So these are important to know to keep out of your child's diet. If you're wanting a couple of healthy options for sweeteners that you can make on your own, monk fruit can be added to any recipe if you're cooking something at home. I often make my own keto bars at home, and I use monk fruit and coconut flour. There are lots of great recipes out there. And then organic stevia, those two. So monk fruit and stevia, not the stevia that has maltodextrin and dextrose and is really processed. There are some packaged ones they have in restaurants. You'll see. You want to read your labels. Always make sure you're reading your labels. You want to avoid those. Food dyes, another one. Food dyes are really bad. Those FD&C, yellow, red, this and that. Those will cause a lot of behavioral issues too. Red is known, again, to cause a lot of anger issues. Yellow is known to contain lead. So really, really harmful. You want to avoid bad fats. We want to know, coconut oil and organic olive oil are two of the best ones. Nuts are a great choice as well, but not peanuts or cashews, because they're actually very inflammatory. But you can avoid the bad fats that, again, a lot of restaurants are using the vegetable oils and canola oil. Everybody's faked out and been told that canola oil is healthy. It is not a healthy oil. So stick to coconut oil and organic, whenever possible, organic, of course, for anything, but but organic olive oil, which can be very, very actually beneficial for us. And so those are helpful for things while you're traveling. Just things I wanted to note. Sugar, of course, we want to avoid dairy and gluten, as I just mentioned. Many fast food restaurants have these trans fats and preservatives and artificial ingredients that really disrupt the brain. So if your child eats something, anything, and you notice that their behaviors increase after that, they start stimming more, they get more irritable, aggressive, or they might kind of regress. Their speech might actually go lessen. They might not be able to think clearly. These are all things, signs to look for that can be actually allergic reactions to something they ate, which can lead to one of these bad reactions from one of these foods. So behaviors are an allergic form of reaction. So really be aware of that when you think all of a sudden my child start acting differently. You want to think, were they exposed to something toxic? Did they eat something different than usual? Or that you notice when they eat any particular food that their behaviors increase, those bad behaviors that you've maybe helped to calm down with certain things you've done and have been progressing with, and all of a sudden they tend to regress. So food and toxins are the big culprits. I've got a 7 foods to eliminate from your child's diet download on the show pages that I'll link to today for you, if you'd like to get that too, if you're not really aware of that. So you also, when you're traveling, if you Google farm to table or you Google organic restaurants, you can find healthier choices near you. There are a lot of farm to table type restaurants these days where they're really promoting utilizing some local growers, and they are organic, or if they're not certified as organic, that they don't spray, but they're healthier. And you can talk to the restaurant about it, but you always want to make sure that if you get, say, chicken, for example, in a restaurant, you want to make sure it really doesn't have the antibiotics and the hormones in it. Salad dressings are big culprits of using MSG and the bad oils. So whenever you have the chance, use just natural, little bit of balsamic vinegar and some organic olive oil. Those can be your better choices to go simple and basic. So for more healthy on-the-go snacks, to be a little bit more specific for your needs, now we know what to stay away from, but what can you eat? Some protein bars that I have found that are really healthy they're basically, you want to make sure a lot of protein bars will have really bad ingredients. They're basically a glorified candy bar. You want to make sure they don't have any wheat, any dairy, soy. You want to avoid soy, sugars, artificial ingredients. Make sure you're reading your labels. Very, very important. So keto is kind of a way these days is a way to make things a little simpler for us as parents of children with autism or people who are avoiding a lot of the bad foods. Keto can just kind of be a keyword. Now, keto can use dairy. So I do caution you to always, always read your labels and make sure that you're not seeing any dairy products in a label. But I do have one to share with you that contains no artificial ingredients, gluten, dairy, or soy. They're a non-GMO. They also offer a really good source of protein and good fats from coconut oil. And they're called keto bars. And I will link to these in the show notes today. And I also have a coupon code with it that gives you $10 off if you're interested in them. You can check that out. Again, with the show notes today will be at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/151. But this keto bar is also low in net carbohydrates. It's low on the glycemic index, which means it's not hard on your blood sugar levels. And this can be really important for our children with autism too. Candida and other pathogenic bacteria in the gut can actually cause our blood sugar to be a little erratic. So giving our kids a little bit of protein and blended with some good fat, again, like coconut oil or olive oil, that combination allows for slower absorption of those nutrients, which is a good thing. And they then tend to stabilize our blood sugar a little bit longer and keep us full a little bit longer too, which is really nice. So again, not all keto bars are free of the bad ingredients, so make sure you read your labels. Next one that I really like is a collagen protein powder that I found that comes from a very healthy quality source. Again, there are a lot of junky ones out there on the market, right? I will link to again in today's show notes for you. But collagen is important to know because it contains protein, a good protein source, vital amino acids that really assist in the healing of the gut lining and can actually help to reverse the effects of leaky gut, which most of our kids with autism have. And so collagen helps to repair that intestinal lining because with this intestinal issue, the lining isn't absorbing the nutrients properly. And with that malabsorption, it creates further collagen deficiency, which then further weakens the gut lining. So it's this domino effect of poor nutrition, absorption leading to weakening of the gut further, which then, of course, leads to we're getting less and less of that nutrition we need to heal the gut. So, collagen protein powder, there's one particular one that I found, and again, I'll link to it in the show notes, and I have a coupon code for you for 20% off of this product as well. The company has been very generous to share that with me to share with you. So I am passing that on to you. But to know that this one particular product also comes in multiple flavors. Their strawberry is one of my favorite. It's made also with stevia, a natural and safe sweetener, as I mentioned, and has only quality ingredients in it. They have vanilla, they have various flavors. They also have a chocolate one, but the only caveat I'll give you is to sometimes avoid cocoa or chocolate because it can, in some kids, cause a histamine reaction. Now, if you find that your child eats it, you don't see any heightened behaviors, hyperactivity, anything like that, then they may be okay with it. But chocolate can very commonly cause a histamine reaction, which then again can increase their behavior. So I just wanted to say that to you as I mentioned this product because they do have one of the multiple flavors is chocolate. So you can go onto their website and check out the different flavors and you can read further about the quality of their product. But this will actually allow you to supplement collagen as in a food source here like this that'll go directly into their body in a more absorbable fashion. You just add a little bit of this powder to any beverage. Just adding it to water actually tastes really good. You can shake it up in a bottle. They can drink it up in a water bottle. Again, I'm a big proponent of never using any BPA plastic bottles. So you want to make sure you're using, one of like Hydro Flasks are good because they're made with stainless steel, or glass is good, but sometimes you don't, your child might not be safe with glass. So have a healthier option, not a plastic bottle that has BPA. And know that BPA is also, those toxins are also released further into the product inside, whether it's water or any liquid that you have in that container when it's subjected to heat, which often will leave a water bottle in the car on a hot day and not think anything of it. The water's warm, but we drink it anyway. Well, if there's a BPA bottle, we have further toxins that have now been put into that water from the heat that the plastic was exposed to. So really be aware of that, especially over the summer months. This Perfect Keto product contains grass-fed collagen. Again, really important with anything like this to have it be grass-fed or organic. This one is. And I've done an entire podcast on the benefits of collagen in the past that I will link to in today's show notes as well for you. So again, very, very simple to use, just adding, you can carry the powder with you and then add it to any beverage you like, including water. And then when your child drinks that beverage, they're getting all of those benefits of collagen, including the protein and some of those great amino acids to help heal the lining of their gut. But it's a really simple thing to travel with because powder is really easy. And then you can find a good source of water or liquid somewhere to add it to as needed. A few simple foods to go that I wanted to offer you too, because I know you're always as a parent looking for, on the go snack ideas. So I just wanted to list a few others here. Besides those keto bars and the collagen protein powder, one thing, celery or apple slices with almond butter. Again, I mentioned earlier, you want to stay away from peanuts. Peanuts are very inflammatory. They're also not a nut, they're a legume. They have lectins. So there are a lot of things about them that are not good. Same as cashews, unfortunately. I know they're yummy. Avoid cashews, but almond butter is excellent. Get a good healthy one. So you can take some celery or apple slices and put a little almond butter on those. We do want to kind of minimize apple and a lot of fruit if you're on a candida or low sugar type diet. But a little few slices, as long as they're, not acting out in behaviors at all with them, can be okay. Hard boiled eggs are an easy on the go food if your child will eat them. Of course, they add a lot of protein and nutrients. If you want, you can add a little bit of Himalayan salt to them. The Himalayan salt is pink in color or light brown, slightly brown. The color are the minerals, because we don't want to eat iodized salt like white table salt. That's bad for us. But a little bit of Himalayan salt actually gives you some good minerals and it's unprocessed. So that can be something that might be a little bit more helpful for your child to eat on the hard-boiled egg, if that at all helps. Nuts, again, besides peanuts and cashews, nuts are a great snack to carry around. I almost always have some nuts with me when I go anywhere, especially travel, because they're a combination of the good fats, again, good fats in nuts with protein. So you've got that protein and fat source to help for slower digestion in a good way, and also to help for a longer time for absorption of those nutrients. And also they keep us full a little bit longer. So that's helpful. Lettuce wraps are something that I do frequently when we travel. I'll use some fresh turkey meat or get some really quality, if you find a deli that doesn't have any MSG or bad stuff in it, then some healthy like turkey meat or whichever type of you like, with maybe some chevre. Chevre is the softer goat cheese, which I tend to really like. And we stay away from dairy with cow's milk. Absolutely, you don't want to eat cow's milk. There are 110 reasons why. First of all, it's really inflammatory. It is the bad A1 protein. There are a lot of reasons why. It also creates opiates in the body, just like gluten does. So you want to stay away from cow's milk. But goat's milk and sheep's milk can often be tolerated by our kids, but it does vary per individual. If you find they're still sensitive in some way to it, then you would want to avoid it. But otherwise, a little bit of chevre, so the goat meat or the goat's cheese, along with the turkey meat, wrapped in romaine hearts. Now, romaine hearts are the big long pieces of the lettuce of romaine. They act like a bread. So, you're without using bread, you can wrap up turkey meat and some healthier versions of cheese in there like that. Or, if you want to omit the cheese and add something else that you like more so that your child will eat, then great, just as long as it's healthy. But I like the romaine hearts because they act like a way to create a sandwich type food or something to put in the middle of them that we can eat on the go, just wrapped up in a little napkin. They can be even eaten in the car. They can be eaten on airplanes, and they're easy to take to the park with you, send to school with you. So those can be really helpful. There's another product by a company called Serenity, and I'm going to link to them in the show notes here for you because they are pureed. They make pureed on the go nutritious foods. They are, many of theirs are organic, grain-free, all of these things. They have an organic grain-free vegetable puff in 3 different flavors. So if your child wants something crunchy to snack on, these are healthy versions of those. We've got organic pureed vegetable pouches, so they kind of drink these easily. but they're again a very healthy source of nutrition for them, and pureed meat pouches with organic poultry, and they have multiple different versions. The grass-fed beef, even. I mean, it's surprising, and I have tried them, and they actually taste very good. I know it sounds a little different, but they are definitely worth trying. And I've linked to their website here in my show notes as well. It's an easy one. I created a quick hyperlink for you at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/food. So you can go check them out there. But yeah, Serenity carries good quality products. And again, they're pureed, easy to eat, easily absorbed by the nutrition is easily absorbed because they're in the pureed form. They're organic, healthy. So you've got some good versions of some healthy foods to take on the go, or again, anywhere you go. Something else that is helpful when you're traveling are probiotics. Probiotics, they help the body adjust to any changes in the diet, especially if you're traveling to, especially a foreign land. You've got new bugs in, even you want to use, of course, heavily use a quality filter to filter your water with. But if you're exposed to any new bugs in anything, the probiotics can help to strengthen the good gut flora, which helps strengthen our immune system and has so many benefits for our gut. They also mitigate the effects of stress. So probiotics can be helpful that way. Stress really affects our gut. Best of all, they strengthen, again, the good bacteria in our immune system. They help to calm the brain. And I like to carry them around with me whenever I go on any trip too. The one thing that I will say to you is, if your child is not on a quality probiotic, and I will link to a podcast that I've done in the past on probiotics and how to find a good one and the ones that I like. But when you first start one, if your child has a weakened gut or candida yeast overgrowth, which means they're having overgrowth of the bad yeast, the bad bacteria in their gut, when we take a probiotic, the good bacteria in the probiotic starts to kill off the bad bacteria, and hence the term die-off, if you've heard of that. Die-off reactions can happen, and I'll link to more about that in the show notes too. But die-off reactions can cause behaviors to worsen, because what's happening is you're having a new release of toxins. This is good because the bad stuff is dying, but if it happens too quickly, you will really see heightened behaviors. And so this is something you've got to modulate, which I always recommend starting with about a half of a probiotic of any kind. And I've again linked to the ones that I like here in the show notes, but half of one at first if you're going to start one, because you want to titrate up very slowly and allow the body to adjust to it, and watch for symptoms of die-off, and don't increase that amount until you see that the die-off symptoms have calmed down. So I never want to say anything without shedding out the rest of my responsibility to you toward that. Like, oh yeah, just take a probiotic, and your child goes wild with behaviors, and you're thinking, what happened? Something must be wrong with this product. No, it's killing off the bad stuff. There also are a lot of, again, really bad probiotics on the market. So beware. Don't just think more billions or more strains in them are mean it's better. And again, in today's show notes, I am linking to a whole podcast piece I did on the subject of probiotics for you to know how to take a good one, and a couple of my absolute favorites on the market that are quality. So it'll be there for you again. Second to lastly, stay very, very well hydrated. When we travel, we tend to forget to drink water. And if we're on the go, you might, grab a poor choice like a soda. You never want to drink soda. It actually dehydrates the body more. So you think, oh, I'm drinking something, it's liquid. But no, because of the sugar in it, it's actually dehydrating your body more. The sugars are really, really, of course, very inflammatory and horrible for your child. If you think, oh, well, I've got my child a diet drink. No, the diet drinks can sometimes actually be worse because of all of the artificial chemicals in them. And especially, as I mentioned earlier, aspartame and things that actually destroy brain cells. So you don't want to be drinking sodas. Drink plenty of pure water. Make sure you get a pure water source, a healthy one. You don't want to be drinking tap water. And again, you can carry a quality water filter with you, and I will link to one in the show notes that you can even take in your car with you to filter tap water along the way if you don't have another source, or if you camp in an RV or you're camping in a tent, but you want to take a pitcher filter with you. There is one that is a really high quality that can be easy to take with you as well, or just toss in the car if you're traveling so you have something good along the way. And then I'll link to also another quality filter that is a larger one that you could use in your home as well. But basically, remember never to drink tap water. And I've done show notes, I've done things on water sources in the past before too. Quinton minerals, I've done an entire episode on that. Also, I'll link to. Quinton minerals can help detoxification pathways and really assist in us staying hydrated as well. So that's a product, that's a supplement that you can take with you easily. Coconut water is also very hydrating. So if you see a good source of coconut water while you're traveling, that can be something that can be good to take too. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you never want to use plastic bottles with BPA, which is bisphenol A, and it, especially with the heat, pulling out those dangerous chemicals in those plastics and putting them into whatever is in the product, whether it's your a child's baby bottle or their drinking bottle, any type of water bottle that you might be using. BPA is also in toys, dental sealants, linings of food cans. So you want to make sure that the bottle or any can that you pick up should say BPA free on it. I carry my own with me, my own source of tea or water with me in a large hydro flask that's stainless steel. So it also helps to insulate, which I like too. So it's not getting the liquid inside hot on a hot day, it keeps it cool. So be careful of these, coated plastic types of bottles and other things like that, because these can really be dangerous toxic chemicals. And our kids are already loaded with toxins, right? We're trying to detoxify them all the time. These BPAs can disrupt the health of the GI tract further, so harming their gut further. They can cause things like asthma and autoimmune disorders. So yes, be careful. Stainless steel or glass are much, much better choices. Or make sure it says BPA free if you have one of those other types of bottles. And lastly, I think enzymes are really, really good to take with you too. They assist in digestion. They're good to take, every day actually, if your child has digestive issues and needs some help. And I did an entire interview with Dr. Devin Houston in the past, who is quite world renowned for his expertise in enzymes. And I've linked to his products and some very high quality ones that you can use at home daily and definitely helpful to take on the road with you. He's got one product called Trienza that helps digest gluten better if you've got some remaining gluten in your child or they accidentally get a hold of some. It helps with carbohydrate and fat digestion, because when our child's gut or our gut is disrupted and not working as properly as it can, and the liver is backed up with toxins, which then backs up the gallbladder. The gallbladder processes fats, it can't do its job well, and then we have, more digestive issues. So as we're healing the gut and as we're trying to help get in some more nutrition into our children, all of these can be helpful tips for picky eaters as well, and especially in transitioning them out of the bad foods that they are addicted to, yes, and transitioning them into more and more of eating of the good foods. This way, these are some great tips to help you get again, some of that absorption of nutrients, quality nutrients into your child while you're doing that, even at home. But they're really easy on the go healthy snack tips that I wanted to give you. And on my show notes as well, you can get my free guide to the top 7 foods reduce to help reduce the symptoms of autism. Because if you remove these foods from your child's diet, then you're not getting their inflammatory and opioid and other harmful effects that they can cause on the gut and on the disrupting the brain. One last little bit I'm going to give you also is there is a free download that I have on at-home fun sensory games that will help calm. And this download has a bunch of really fun games. I did this interview with Lindsay Beal, an occupational therapist who had some great ideas, and I have had some of my own that I used with my kids growing up. And some of them you don't just have to use at home, you can actually take with you in car rides and on the go with you. So they're fun games for your child to play, but they actually calm some of their sensory issues. So that can be really, really nice for you too when you're, in the car or traveling. So you can get that at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/fun, FUN. And I will also link to that in the show notes for you today too. And again, those will be at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/151. So I hope this episode has been helpful for you. And most of all, enjoy yourself while you travel and as you're getting into summer and various things that you're going out there and having fun doing. Make sure that you have fun. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Take care.